And you've described on our previous show a person's possibility with the help of his internality to really reach a different reality. You called it not different in dimension, but really a different reality. That reality that we're all searching for so many years. And you've explained that there's a method that's called the wisdom of Kabbalah, with the help of which we can reach that amazing reality, new reality that will allow us the good life. It's very simple. It's very simple. The new reality is that with its help, we can feel everything that's going on in the general comprehensive reality from which we're at the moment perceiving a very small and distorted part. We can do it not if we're inside ourselves, our desires, our thoughts, which are all about our animalistic body, and therefore only with respect to my animalistic body. Bodily, we're on the animate level, and it's all according to my animate body. Is it good for me or not good? And this is how I measure reality. So all of reality for me, it narrows down to two things: what's good and what's bad for me in every moment in life. And this is what I see, what I hear, what I taste, what I breathe. It's all only towards, is it good or is it bad? That's all I feel. That's all I can discern. How can I come to feel a reality which is beyond my animalistic body? Suppose called on my human level of a person that is independent of the animalistic body. So I have to come out of myself, feel what's outside of me. How do I do that? How can I do that? How can I come out of myself? Feel something not through my ears, not through my eyes, where everything that's entering me, and what's entering me is standing here in my head. There's a computer here that's only splitting it into good, bad, towards me. And something that doesn't belong to me, I don't feel it. Meaning there's a vast reality here, worlds, what things, and we don't see it. We're blind. I only see what's good for me or bad for me. For me, it's called only for my animalistic body, meaning we as people don't exist. We exist only as animals. How do I come out of that? The human part in me once more? Yes, because I want to know what is the meaning of life. In order to find that out, I have to come out of my animalistic body. So, how do I now, in this lifetime, how can I start perceiving reality as it is, regardless of my senses, my five senses, vision, hearing, smell, taste, touch, but the way it is outside of this corporeal body, outside the animalistic body. I have to come out of the skin. How will I do that? I can't. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, it explains a trick. And this is a very simple trick. It says, around you, there are other people that also want to come out of their body and see the world, the broad, wide world. That's Bala Sulam, he explains it. He compares it to a worm living inside a radish, and it's living inside the radish, and it thinks that the whole world's as bitter as the radish it lives in, and suddenly it breaks through the shell of the radish and peeks out with its head and sees sun and air and birds and grass and everything's so beautiful and everything's so good. And where was I in my world all this time? And he says this is actually how a person in his life is. How do we get out of our radish? And it's possible to do it. We can acquire, we have to acquire, buy, develop in us senses which are beyond those senses of ours that perceive everything on the inside. I want to be independent of my body, above my body, like a rider on his horse. I want to be the rider, not inside the horse, but to be the rider. How do you do it? So he says, to develop senses that are outside your body. You can do it simply. There are other people like you. Start having such exercises that you care for each other. Each one of you cares for the others. I suppose I care for Oren, and Oren cares for me. And like us, there are more such people, say another 10 people, where we're sitting around this round table and we're starting to arrange our exit, each one as much as he can come out towards the others. And when we start making these efforts, each one of us is inside his ego. He has to try and come out of it. So by trying to get out of ourselves, each one of us towards the others, we also play so that each one of us has to show the others that he's succeeding. So out of my envy, I wanted to, and so on and so forth. We're warming each other up, so to speak. And we're really doing this consciously. I want to help them. I want to come out of myself and take care of their bodies the way I used to care for my body. And I don't care about my body. I care only for their bodies, and they care for my body. And this is how each one of us dedicates himself to others, and others, they dedicate themselves to him. This network of relations is called Arvut, mutual guarantee or mutual responsibility, where I am your guarantor. Don't worry about yourself. You can forget about your animalistic body. We'll take care of it. And this is how we care for each other. What do we get as a result? By that, we evoke a special force that exists in nature and is hidden from us, a force of bestowal. Our nature, all in all, consists of two forces, reception and bestowal, give and take. And that's how we live. This is our life, from the very first atom, from the very first particle out of which our universe was created. It already consists of these two forces, plus and minus. And this is how atoms developed, and molecules, and amoebas, and all these bodies of the vegetative, still vegetative and animate, and also we. The speaking level, the spiritual part about us, the human part in us. Only what's happening here? On the levels of the still vegetative and animate, and minerals, trees, animals, inside our body, which is also on the animate level, it exists somehow more or less in balance. The power, the force of plus and minus. And we, the human level in us that's riding the still vegetative inanimate, riding the horse, we consist only of the minus force. The human part in us wants only bad for others and only good for himself, and doesn't want to take anyone else into consideration. This is our nature. The human nature, our human nature, the human part about us, not our body, because it's more or less like a balanced machine, but the human part in us is negative. Pure evil inclination that's controlling us. And by doing this exercise in a circle with 10 people that want to come out of themselves and integrate, mix with others, by that we evoke the good force in nature that's on the human level, and it comes and balances us against the negative force with the positive force, and then we become balanced, and we're then correctly built on the human level, and we discover then that force which exists between us. We open it up like a fountain. It becomes like a sprout, like a spring. It encompasses us and turns us into this special mechanism where these 10 friends that did this to each other, that they tried to do it, and really through this positive force, they get the quality of bestowal, which is that they are ready to come out of themselves, like that worm that lived in the radish, and then we come out of these 5 corporeal animalistic senses of ours into 5 spiritual senses, and we start feeling the spiritual world. How? Through the connection between us, through the relations between us, it becomes as a new sense. We've built a system that's called Adam, the human part, and this human has 5 new organs which are called Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Zaran, Pin, and Malchut. Instead of vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, that's how they're called, Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Zaran, Pin, and Malchut. And then in these 5 senses we feel the upper dimension, and we start living there, all of us as one.